Good morning. It's May 25th, 2022. Last night, Angela and I were in the house just watching the horrific aftermath of another school shooting, this time in Uvalde, Texas, a town we've been through many times. Beautiful little town. I'm just heartbroken and horrified by all that we were seeing on television. And we heard this incredibly loud noise from outside, and we went to investigate, and we discovered that our Nancy tree had fallen. And a Nancy, this is a fruit many of you don't know. This is Costa Ricans love this fruit. Very distinct smell. They use it and make many things out of it. This was the only one we had on the property, and it is now gone. It has fallen. And as I woke up this morning, I was thinking about this tree, and of course the shooting's still on my mind. And a thought occurred to me that this tree fell. This tree had to fall. Everything about it was aligned for it to fall. Now, I don't know what all those things were, but I do know this is the result. Whether it was the roots were too shallow, or the tree was too old, or it was weighed down with too many Nancy's, it was perfectly aligned to fall. And I'm borrowing that phraseology from years ago when I was at Grace Community Church. We were having a kind of a senior staff planning meeting, and one of our staff, I think it was Brenda Georgie, said that our policies and procedures are perfectly aligned to give us the results we're getting. And that's kind of obvious, axiomatic. Everything we're doing is perfect for the results that we're getting. It makes absolute sense, and we don't like to think about that we're responsible for what we're getting as a result. But it's necessary for us to face that reality. Just as this tree fell, everything was leading up to that. It was perfectly aligned to that. So what is it in our culture that is giving us these kinds of results where 18-year-olds go out and shoot up schools? I don't know. I don't know. I don't believe there's one simplistic answer, but I would say that the things, I know when I was a child, this was not an occurrence. This was not something that was on our radar, and less so when my parents were children. So where has our alignment changed? What have we adopted in our culture or let go of in our culture that is giving us the results that we're seeing now? Now, first of all, I believe individuals are responsible. I believe this young man made a choice, and he did what he did, and he is the responsible party. But he is a product of our culture in many, many ways. And so on the one hand, we take God out of our culture, out of our community, certainly out of our schools, and yet we expect godly behavior. We're not getting it. And we glorify violence in our games, in our movies, and we expect peaceful behavior, and we're not getting it. And we reject the ideal of moral accountability and responsibility, but yet we expect moral behavior, and we're not getting it. So I don't want to be simplistic, and I don't want to make assumptions about this, but I think our culture is going to continue to be a reflection of our values. And then I was also disturbed when I got on social media this morning, just checking my messages, that some in my feed were upset, said, thoughts and prayers are nothing, or they don't stop bullets. And certainly when you take prayer away and people are not taught to pray, that's nothing. So somebody that comes along that never prays and we're going to ask them to pray, why? Doesn't mean a thing. Even Jesus' disciples, they said, Lord, teach us to pray. And what did Jesus teach? He didn't teach a knee-jerk reaction to a horrible event that you just want to undo or to wish never happens again. He said, Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. We've taken the bread away. We've taken Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. We've taken all those things away, yet we want prayer to work. Prayer only works when we know the one we're praying to, when we believe in the God of heaven. So it's time to change the alignment in our culture. We've got to get our culture to turn back to God. It's time for another great awakening. It's time for people to realize all this libertine secularism that you longed for, well, this is the result. May God help us all. May God help those families that are dealing with this morning.